Neal Maupay. What about his antics? We saw what happened at the G10.
I feel like Neal Maupay is lucky that the rules have changed in football, where you can't kick people.
You can kick people,
but you can't. And if you went and give him a good kick in, you're going to get sent off. It's not worth it. He knows that. Back in your day, some of the players you played against and played against. He's in row Z.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah,
row Z. Like, I'm walking ref.
Yeah, even when the ball's
early shower. Pizza's on the side next to the shower. Grab a slice of pizza. What's the rest of the game? But you know what? I've done what everyone's wanted, because he's done something to Walker yesterday. Walker wasn't happy. To lose his head like that, he said something to annoy him.
But Gab, that goes on, mate. We know that happens. Little sly comments. It's not. I'm not saying it's right. What I'm saying is he's got to get over that, Walker. He's got to deal with that, I think.
But what I don't understand as well is that if I am the manager, Thomas Frank, I'm saying, you know what, you're in good form yourself. You're scoring goals. Why do that? Because you're annoying. You annoy the Spurs players. Yeah. They come out second half like a team possessed. Spurs. That was the half-time team talk was like, we're beating them because of Maupay. He's wound them all up and they come out flying. I'm sure he done it against Aston Villa with their goalkeeper Martinez.
Honestly,
we come and win.
It was like slapstick.
Yeah, but you keep doing it and you're winding teams up. Yesterday, you just don't need to do it because... No, I'm not having it, mate.
No?
I'm not having it, mate.
What do you mean?
I'm kicking him.
Fine. Then who wins?
I win.
No, you don't. You don't.
It's warmer inside. I'm joking. No, obviously...
He knows you're eating pizza.
In the bath. A warm bath. First one in the bath.
Winner there. You've got to deal with it as a professional footballer. Manchester City's Kyle Walker and Brentford's Neal Maupay clashed towards the end of last night's game live here on talkSPORT. Former Manchester City defender Danny Mills joined the Breakfast Show this morning and spoke about how he would have dealt with Neal Maupay's antics back in his day.
Something would have ended up in row Z, probably Neal Maupay. And then it might have been, well, if you want to sort this out, let's have a little word in the tunnel afterwards. Sadly, with all the cameras and everything around these days, that doesn't really happen. But yeah, I think he's getting under people's skin at the moment. Not quite sure. Obviously, not really come out what him and Kyle Walker were talking about, arguing about. I'm sure it will over the course of time. But at the moment, yeah, he's certainly starting to annoy one or two players.
It made us laugh here in the studio when he said it was dealt with back in my day. And as soon as he said that, Gab and I looked at him and I said, "Yeah, we know what that means. He's going to deal with it agriculturally. He's going to boot him up in the air and have the conversation afterwards." But that's the thing. Neal Maupay knows that you can't do that now, and maybe it helps his game. He's always been like it. Remember the thing he fell out with Leno? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think
when he was at Brighton.
Was it Guendouzi as well? I think it was.
Every chance.
Yeah, I think it was Guendouzi at Arsenal as well. I'm sure it was. He's always done it, but as a player, you know what it's like, Cundy, when you're on the pitch. Sometimes you can lose your head. And I think that's what he's trying to do, to wind players up, and then someone gets sent off. I seem to remember that Arsenal game. Gooners will tell me, I'm very Brighton fans. I think he injured Leno, and I think Brighton got something out the game in the end. I'm looking at my producer. Yeah, he wouldn't know. Ipswich fan, he wouldn't know.
Brighton. You
seem to like
Brighton
it.
Won.
What are you doing?
No, I tell you what. I can appreciate what he's doing, right? I can appreciate what he's getting up to. But here's a question.
It's not working.
Here's a question for you: if he was on your team, would you say, "Come on, rein it in"?
I'd say just stop, mate. I'd pull him and say, you're making the other team angry, and when you're making them angry, they're on it more. That's what happened against Spurs. Half time, Spurs come out. Seen the Spurs celebrations after each goal, doing the darts throw. Same with Aston Villa. So I just don't see the point in it, to be honest. But maybe that's just his personality and you can't help it.
03717223344. But we're going to turn our attention back to Phil Foden, who was spectacular last night. Let's go and speak to Nick, who's a Man United fan. What? Oh, Nick. Good afternoon.
Good evening, Nick.
I nearly said good evening because I do the sports bar. Good afternoon, Nick.
How's things?
I'm all right, Nick. How are you? Just a quick question on that. If you had Neal Maupay in Man United's team when he's going around just winding people up, how would you feel about that?
Oh, it's part of the game. It is part of the game. You can't stop it. You're playing football, tempers are running high. You say things, especially when you get to know each other. Like even on the parks playing football, boys.
Do you do it? Do you do it, Nick?
Yeah, of course you do.
What's your go-to wind up then? What do you do? Where do you go to get the better of the opposition?
Just usually calling people weak. So if they go in, is say someone goes in on you and they try to put the hip in. I say, God, you need to do a bit more core work, mate. You need to do a few more squats. There's nothing in that. I didn't feel anything there, mate.
Right. Okay.
And I just tell them, you need to stop training arms and do some core work. So that's my go-to.
I hear you, mate. What about Phil Foden, mate? What do you think about what me and Cundy are talking about for England?
Foden is obviously a quality player. Like, he's a fantastic player. But the way you're talking about him as if he is, like, super elite, as, like, you know, prime Mesut Ozil when he was in the Prem, Kevin De Bruyne.
Who?
Mesut Ozil. Listen, the point I'm trying to make, right, is
Not a good example,
Listen, he is lovely to watch, right? He looks, everything he does, like his goals yesterday, they were so smooth and they were so clean. But the thing with Foden is his numbers have never been super elite. Like, before his hat-trick last night, there's about 10 players in the Premier League, all playing in similar positions with more goal involvement.
Name them. Like, who are the 10?
Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
Michael Elise by minutes. I know Elise has had injuries, but per minute goal involvement is better than Foden.
Who do you support, Nick?
Goal involvement.
Nick, who's your team?
I support Man United, but
okay. Makes sense, that it couldn't do.
Agenda. Like, Foden is a quality player, but like his best season isn't as good as Mason Mount's best season.
Okay then, Nick, if you were to pick the team for our first game in the Euros, do you pick Foden?
Hang on, you broke up a bit, lads.
I think you broke up. If you could pick the team for our first game in the Euros, would you pick Phil Foden, the starting team?
No, I'd pick Anthony Gordon, and the reason I pick Anthony Gordon is he's putting up similar numbers to Phil Foden, but the thing he's got Foden over 20, 30 metres, but he's not going to run into open pitch like that.
Right. Listen, the line's gone terrible, matey. I think to compare Anthony Gordon with Phil Foden, I think is a travesty, personally. Yeah. Look, I'm a fan of Gordon. Gordon's got a chance.
But don't put him in Foden's bracket.
But don't be talking about...
different sort of players as well.
Totally different sort of player. But I have to say, Anthony Gordon, he might force his way in to the reckoning, you know. He's got a chance. Yeah,
I don't think... I hear what you're saying. I do rate him. He's done very well. But I just think that... I still think Southgate will look at Greenish and Rashford on that left-hand side.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.